Hello, and thank you so much for joining me here for another video. I kind of wanted to do a video touching on the one I did last week that I've taken down, and also kind of what I've learned from that video since then. So recently I started working with a new guide. This guide is Hecate, and I think it was like the day after I had posted that video last Friday. And in that video, if you were able to catch it before I deleted it, not deleted, before I unlisted it, was that I was making a protection jar for a friend of mine. In this jar, I had used an ingredient called graveyard dirt. So graveyard dirt is literally dirt from a graveyard, and it's used in different cultures as well, as like a hexing thing, or for like banishment and protection. So I was under the impression that I was buying it in an ethical way, that it was okay to use for me in my practice because it was done ritualistically, or done in a ritualistically ethical way, as in the person collecting it is asking permission of gatekeepers of the land, and like leaving a offering, is what I assumed from the conversation I had with the store clerk. I thought, okay, well, if they're leaving an offering, then this should be ritualistically okay to do, is what I thought. But according to my guide and her views on that, that's not really the case. So I want to make it clear that if graveyard dirt is a part of your culture and your practice, I'm not telling you not to use it, and I'm not telling you like how to tap into your culture and your practice and your spirituality. What's good and what's right for my spirit and my practice might not be what is right and okay for you. But I just thought I would share my experiences and the wisdom I received from this particular guide. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, when connecting with Hecate, she was very particular about the kind of ingredients that are okay to use and that are not. And she didn't specifically say anything about graveyard dirt, but when she was talking, I was kind of like, wait, I have graveyard dirt. Is this like ethical? Is this okay? And she was kind of like not a fan of the dirt. So Hecate, in her own words, said that she was well aware that when a spirit dies, it doesn't remain, here trapped on the earth forever, ideally, or generally speaking, like people aren't trapped here, their spirits move on. But when it comes to graveyards and burial grounds where human remains are, a piece of you is there, a piece of you is connected to that. And when you go and you take something, you go and you take something from like a burial ground, it's like you're taking a piece of that being that you may have disturbed with you. It's like but not in a good way. Like not in a, oh, they're here with me. No, like this is not someone you should be taking with you. This is, you've like stolen a piece of them, is kind of like the vibe I was getting and what I understood from that conversation. Which was not at all my intention, and I'm really upset and mad at myself for not like doing a little more. I don't know if research would have helped, but I don't know, maybe asking more questions of my guides before I went and bought that ingredient, and maybe just use like a little more critical thinking. Like I've been working on discernment, and this would have been a great time to use that discernment to really tune in before I bought it, instead of being like, well, other witches do it and it seems, and I like creepy things, and it seems to be ritualistically like ethical, so I guess it's fine. I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I had maybe thought about it a bit more, because like my intention is never ever to disturb the dead, never ever to like harm anyone or anything, or disrespect like the spirit world or any beings that have passed over. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about that. I also wanted to mention that Hecate did give me a way to kind of like remedy the situation, so I thought I would share that with you, as well as, some better practices for finding ingredients, herbs, based on some other things she'd asked me to do. But I'll explain how I am going to kind of make amends and return the graveyard dirt to the land, and also black cat powder, which it might be fine, but sometimes they use cat bones when it comes to making the powder, and like it's unlikely they got those bones in an ethical way if that's the case, which is also not what I was expecting. I thought it was just a fun name, honestly. Again, should have done more research. This is totally on me, but yeah, again, it probably doesn't have cat bones in it. Just thinking, like, I don't think the shop would have done that, probably, but you know, just in case, I'll be returning that as well, and I'm going to share with you how I'm going to do that in case this is something that will benefit somebody. So, firstly, you'll have to have the container of graveyard dirt and black cat powder, and also the container of like my spell jar I used, which I'm not giving to my friend anymore, of course, obviously. And you have to bring that with you, and Hecate said to me that I would have to take this, what's it called? Like, you can't just bury the bottle, like, because that's just pollution, basically. Like, you can't, like, you want to return the dirt to the earth or anything that wouldn't, like, harm the area, but you don't want to, what's the word? You don't want to just, like, add more garbage while you're doing that. Like, there's no reason to bury the whole glass bottle. You should reuse it if you're going to buy another one anyway. So basically what I've been instructed to do is when the moon is new and is not void, of course, so both of those things are important, to go out into nature, the woods, you know, wherever you can find that, and basically hold a service, like not just dig a hole and dump it and leave kind of thing, like make it ritualistic. So for me, I plan to bring the dirt to this location that I feel like is fine, and dig like into the ground, like a little hole, like I'll make a burial plot for the black cat powder on one side and the the graveyard dirt on another side. I'll dig that hole. I will literally hold a service, and I will, you know, call in my guides and stuff, and anything protective, and then I'll also call in, I'll talk to the dirt and any spirits that I may have disturbed, or any beings that may have been harmed in the collection or creation of either powder, and just basically pour my heart out about how sorry I am for that. And really the important part with this is, like, to be genuine, to be real, to Hecate told me to allow your heart to be really open and emotional about it too. It's part of, like, that, I guess, I don't know if retribution is the right word, but it's how you give back, like emotionally feeling something about something you've partook in that maybe isn't good and that you wouldn't have if you'd known. So I'm gonna do that, and yeah, basically hold that little service for them. Then I will take the contents out of each jar and put it into their respective, I guess, I don't want to say graves, but they're plots, and get the dirt out of these containers, and keep the containers and save them for later, kind of thing. And then obviously you bury them. I would take the protection jar I made that I am no longer giving to my friend, and I would also sprinkle the contents around, like around the plot in a circle, around each plot, kind of thing, to also return that. And then I'd take the bottle with me. Of course, I'd say I'm sorry, and I'd say goodbye, I'd close the space, kind of thing, and yeah, that's how you do that. So if you find yourself in a similar position at some point with, like, dirt or anything that wouldn't hurt the ground, or has to do with, I guess, spirits and you know, disturbing them or taking things from graveyards, hopefully hearing my mistake, you won't do that, but if you know somebody who has and wants to make amends, like, at least this is the way I know to make amends for that, based on what Hecate has told me. So hopefully that could be helpful for any of you. I also wanted to share just a little bit more information that Hecate has kind of gifted to me about like getting herbs and witchcraft, like materials for stuff like that. So she's really honorable and has like a deep respect, I would say, for the natural world, and I really appreciate that. And it is really refreshing. It's good to be reminded of that perspective as well, because when it comes to like using herbs and stuff, like you can buy them, but there are like a lot of ethical issues, not with herbs most of the time, depending on like what you're using, but it is much better in her perspective, and I agree with this perspective, to go out into the land you live in and do your research, make sure you're not picking up anything that's gonna kill you or anyone you know, or or what else, or that is endangered, right? But to go out and literally harvest stuff yourself, it doesn't have to be fancy, also, is the thing. I don't know a ton of this yet, like I'm going to learn more as I work with her, but yeah, like literally she just had me get rocks the other day. It was really interesting. She said that to communicate with her, she wanted me to start throwing like the stones, and not in like a way where it's like this stone means this when it's this, when it, not like looking for what they mean and then assigning that meaning to my own practice, but literally getting a bunch of really normal, I guess, rocks, like not crystals. Do not throw crystals, according to Hecate. Apparently there will be hell to pay if you do that, but don't use crystals. But like normal rocks, river stones specifically, but she was very particular in how you do that. In the sense of like you need to ask permission, and she's like, if you feel a no, then you just leave it and you just go. So that's what I've been doing for the past 2 days. I was getting 6 to start stones, and I was going, it is hard to find stones because it wasn't just any stone. It wasn't like a gravel or I don't know, or something like a random stone. It was kind of a random stone, but like not. She said no stones that have been ripped from their mother. So that honestly made me think of like gravel, because like I feel like that's what gravel is, or just in general anything like broken off of artificially a larger stone before the stone was ready to leave. So when you're keeping that in mind, and also specifically river stones that consent to go home with you and the land allows you to take, I was like, oh, okay. It's I don't know why, it's not hard to find stones, but it was as hard as I expected it to be, which is a lot harder than you might think. I literally like went from location to location. It was raining, it was dreary, but I was like, well, this is kind of what I deserve for the graveyard dust. So it was fine. But yeah, I went to like 3 different locations, and I got 2 to 3 stones from each, I think, something like that. And I basically would just go. I would find the area of the rocks, I would connect to Mother Gaia, and I would clearly out loud tell them what I'm doing. I would call in specifically Mother Gaia and the water spirits. I didn't really know what names to call them or what names it'd go by, because I only really knew Greek names, but Greek names don't really apply here. So because I live in Ottawa, so I was like, okay, calling on the spirits of the water and of the land, and of this specific space, everything aligned with the light as well, of course, on Mother Gaia, and the spirit of the rocks themselves. And as I pick up each rock, I would ask specifically permission to take that rock, to love and to honor it, to have it part of like a family, because also I feel like it's important, based on what Hecate has told me, to treat your witchy tools as not tools, but in her words, as friends. So I wanted to let them know that the stones would be honored. I would consider them friends, and I would treat them that way. And they'd be used to communicate with Hecate for the light, with good intentions. And then I'd ask for each stone, hey, is it okay if I take this stone with me for this intention? And then I'd wait for an answer. The first location, I found actually only one stone. I believe it was only one stone, and that one felt very aligned. That stone, it was a yes. The stone was coming with me. The next place I went to there was lots of stones, but I was picking them up. It was like a yes for 2 of them, but then after that they were like no more, is what I was intuitively feeling. Like when I was connecting in, I felt like, no, that's enough. I have to go to another part of the land for some reason. And so then I finally went to, I guess, the last place to get the last few. The last few. And it was great. That one took a lot of time too, because it was like, especially I picked up 2 that I was like, oh, I want these so bad, but like I wasn't getting like a clear yes, it's okay to take them. Especially one was smooth, and I didn't really have any smooth ones, and I wanted a smooth one because I feel like that'd help like the different textures. But it wasn't exactly a stone. It was something, I don't really know what it was, to be honest, but it was so cool and I really wanted it. But I was getting like a no, leave it. Like it belongs to someone, or it doesn't really belong, at least not with me. And I was like, okay, I'll put it back, damn it. But what can you do? I picked up another one that I really wanted. It just had like a really cool shape and texture, and I felt for some reason like, I know I sound like completely crazy, but that's fine. If you're watching this, you're aware, like but yeah, I felt it, and it was like not a clear yes or no at first. It was it felt like it was deciding, and then I felt like it settled on, or at least I settled on, like, this rock isn't ready to leave the river yet. Like, I don't know, like it still needs time there. Like it's not ready to be removed from that energy, so, which like, I don't know. I know I sound like mad, but like, Hecate told me to respect it, so I put it down. I was able to find other rocks to complete like my 6 set little rock bag I have right now. So I just thought I would share that. And I forgot to tell you guys what to do with the bottles after you, what's the word? After you return the dirt, like I was talking about earlier in the video. So with the bottles, I don't know how to do this yet. I'll like probably make another video once I find out, but Hecate does want me to kind of like cleanse it with smoke and reuse the bottles, because we're not trying to waste here. We ain't wasting shit. So that's the video for today. I hope you liked it. I hope it was helpful for you, or I hope it will be helpful to somebody, so no one has to make the same mistake if they do not wish. So thank you so much for joining me here. I can't wait to update you guys on just everything I learned with Hecate. Like, this is super cool. I am kind of scared of her, but not because she's mean or like scary, but because I've like never worked with a goddess before, and I'm just like, and she kind of has an attitude. Like, I don't mean this in a mean way. Like, I think she's slay. I think she's a slay boss queen, but like, I'm kind of like, I'm like so insecure if she says something like about me that I wasn't expecting to hear that's like negative. Like, I'll get over it and it'll be for like the good of all, and it'll be fine, but like but yeah, thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Stay safe, stay ethical, and bye.